Hi, welcome to PCMag Live. I'm Sascha Segan, he's Will Greenwald, and we're here in the PCMag Labs in New York City to bring you the 3 top tech news stories of the day, show you one cool thing from our shelves, and answer one of your reader questions. So let's get to it. Will, what was the biggest surprise this morning?
Well, everyone is waiting for the Samsung Galaxy S5 to go on sale April 11th, but it turns out that it's on sale today in South Korea.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Apparently, the South Korean carriers are being punished by the government for illegally subsidizing new customers. So they won't be allowed to sign up new customers for 45 days starting April 5th. So they decided to start selling the Galaxy S5 now, and Samsung is pissed. I mean, do you think there's any way Samsung could get back at them?
Other than withholding new S5s or delaying shipments in Korea, which is doubtful because Samsung is a Korean company, that's sort of their launch platform, not really a whole lot they can do. And you can't really imagine that this sort of ruling would happen here.
Yeah, I can't imagine that this would happen here. Now, it's on sale for $808 unlocked in Korea, because of course it can't be subsidized, because that was sort of the whole point here. Do you think, I mean, what do you think is the market for a phone like this at $800?
It's a smartphone, and it's the newest, shiniest smartphone, and probably will be one of the most popular for the next year, in at the very least North America and possibly Korea. It's a high price, but it's an unlocked phone, and it's the newest, shiniest one, so there will be people who will buy it. Yeah,
they'll be the first people on the block, that's for sure. Well, here in the US, wait until April 11th, and we're going to see a lot of Galaxy S5s.
Subsidized.
Subsidized, absolutely. Probably $199. So speaking of expensive objects, yeah, do you have a familiarity with the works of the Wu-Tang Clan?
More of a Run DMC, Public Enemy kind of guy. But they're not putting out a possibly $15 million one-press album that is currently being stored in a Moroccan vault in a hand-carved nickel silver box that will probably be opened by Indiana Jones.
Yes, I mean, I was reading about this new Wu-Tang album, Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, which exists as a single physical object. One thing that wasn't clear is whether it's digital or vinyl.
Yeah, it really isn't clear.
Yeah.
One would assume vinyl if they're purists, because that's the only true way to listen to music. But it could be very, very high bitrate digital. It could be a hard drive sitting in a metal box that's just proprietary and will only work with the official Wu-Tang supercomputer, which they'll be sending around to different museums, and is going to be a whole tour of this one album that people will be able to listen to.
Yeah, people will be able to line up and listen to this album as an event, as a single object. And then after it does its museum tour, they're going to auction it off to whoever wants it. And if a record company buys it, they could release it as an album. If some crazy private collector buys it, he could hide it in a vault and no one will ever listen to it again. If, somebody really into free culture buys it, he could release the whole thing for free. It's a really interesting new business model. Have you heard of things like this happening before?
Not to this extent, and not that much money, supposedly. I mean, they're talking about millions of dollars. But they're also saying that if it's leaked in any way, that they'll just destroy the album.
Yeah, I love that idea. I hope the box has explosives embedded in it, and there could be a remote detonator if they see it on BitTorrent.
Well, the whole thing seems less a security procedure and more almost a challenge to hackers who basically have this Ocean's 11 situation where they can go into a museum, listen to stuff on Wu-Tang's own headphones, and as their own closed system. It's basically challenging hackers, crackers, and any sort of social engineers to pirate the unpiratable.
Yes. So speaking of security procedures, so how bad is cheating on Titanfall?
It depends whether I'm winning or losing.
How often are people cheating on Titanfall?
Haven't personally seen it, but any first-person shooter is going to have aimbots. And whether it happens a lot or a little is up to the developer and how well they maintain the servers.
Okay, well yesterday Respawn announced what I think is the most brilliant way to deal with first-person shooter cheaters, which is that if they detect you are using an aimbot, you will still be able to play Titanfall. However, you will be placed in a special protected pool only with other cheaters in what they describe as the Wimbledon of aimbot contests.
Again, that's just some interesting social engineering going on. We're going to see, this could be the future of esports, let's be honest. Take players out of the equation, just put together the esports, Titanfall, cheaters always lose, server tournament and see who has the best aimbot.
Is there really that much of a variation in terms of quality of aimbots?
Only one way to find out, and Respawn's doing it.
Yeah, I guess so. Another interesting social thing they've done is that if anyone in the party is banned, then the whole party is treated as banned for that play session. So you should not hang out with cheaters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
But they won't be server locked. It's just the aimbot users.
No. You will again get to play with the non-cheater population once you cast the cheater from your home. But I love this idea. I think other games should do it. I think this idea of an all-cheater alternate reality is just hilarious. So getting to our reader question, Asif wants us to suggest a radar detector for his car. Now, we asked Jamie Landino, who's one of our auto experts, and what did we turn up?
We turned out with the Valentina 1, which is the best performing radar detector on Earth. It's not appy. I'm curious what he meant by that.
The much cheaper Cobra radar detectors, which are cheaper than the Valentine, involve a lot of like smartphone interaction, and you can run all these apps with them. And so there's a lot of that interactivity. But the Valentine is a much more
It's old school box on dashboard.
It's like the audiophile radar detector.
Yeah. And of course, the best thing to do is not use a radar detector at all, but instead get radar dampering plates and put them all over your car, turn it into a stealth vehicle.
Well, that really reminds me of playing Car Wars in the 80s. And if you remember, I mean, it was a board game, it was an RPG, there was a computer game.
I have the board game.
Okay. So you've got an emulator, you want to play Car Wars, maybe you play it on this.
This is the MSI AG2712A Gaming All-in-One PC. It is $1,899, and it uses an ATI 8970M dedicated video card, which gives it pretty good performance. Not completely like blowing everything out of the water, but 1080p 27-inch screen, can play games, Core i7 processor.
Now, my number one question about devices like this is that, are any gamers going to buy an all-in-one? If you're a gamer, don't you want a box with these parts that you can upgrade easily, et cetera, et cetera?
You do, ideally, but that takes a lot of effort and often a lot of money. Usually one or the other, because you can build yourself, save money, or get a cottage industry gaming PC and spend more than this.
Oh, yeah.
And for a middle ground, this is all-in-one. You have all the parts, you just use your own keyboard and mouse and have your own gaming experience on a big screen that can run current games.
Okay, yeah, and it would make a great media center for a dorm room or small apartment as well.
Certainly.
So $1,900 is not a lot for a gaming PC. You can check out the review of the MSI AG2712A on PCMag.com, and that's it for PCMag Live. We will see you tomorrow.
Yep.